the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education for Monday, July the 12th. Would you please call the roll?
Davis. Here. Smedley. Here. Schroeder.
Here.
Plagg.
Here.
Silly. Pearson.
Here.
Bennett Johnson. Mr. Plagg, we have a quorum.
Thank you. In light of the fact that the board president and the vice president are both absent for tonight's meeting, but a quorum of this body does exist, I would like to move that Janae Pearson serve as the temporary chair of the meeting for the evening.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Janae Pearson chair the meeting tonight. Roll call vote, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Plagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Agenda item number 6, comments to the board by citizens registered to speak to the board.
We have none.
Comments to the board by board members.
Just follow the numbers now.
Dr. Simpson, Superintendent's report.
Thank you. Summer project update. One of the things that is on the list is a complete reconfiguration of the HVAC system at Guess, and it's finally underway. Bleacher installation in the High School North Gym will be later this month, along with installation of a scoreboard. We have plans for new scoreboards at softball as well as Jelsma Stadium, and later in the agenda we'll open bids for work to air condition the Fogarty Gym. We're awaiting delivery of the unit to air condition the junior high gym, and due to some delays, we expect these projects to stretch into the fall, but don't anticipate any disruption of services that were already present, meaning that areas that were not air conditioned we may start the year without air conditioning like we've had in the past, but we believe also that the areas that currently have air conditioning, we will be able to maintain that throughout the transition. And some of this is due to supply demands and difficulties in getting supplies that I know anyone that's has any connection to the construction industry understands that there's some realities right now that we're faced with just like everyone else. We got some good news. You may have read about this, and I think we talked about it in committees, but Guthrie Public Schools received a Counselor Corps grant from the State Department of Education. The grant is in the amount of $158,000 annually for 3 years for a total of $474,000. It will fund new school counselors or new contracted counseling services, and we have posted some jobs. One of the challenges with that right now is counselors are in a very high demand. We're not the only district that received these funds or identified the need for additional counselors. And so as we go through this, we're going to see if we can find people to be in-house counselors. If we hire those folks for these positions, they'll be put on a grant-based contract, which is a non-continuing contract with regard to teacher tenure. And so in the event that we cannot, then we will explore contracted counseling services to assist our students. And online enrollment began last Monday. We already have noticed many students enroll that were not with us last year. In fact, this morning I pulled some numbers, and this was as of this morning, so about 1 week into online enrollment. We've had 733 students enrolled district-wide. 132 of those were students that indicated in the enrollment process that they are new to the district, but they are not pre-K students. So all pre-K students technically would be new to the district unless they're repeating pre-K. And so of the 132, that was kindergarten, going into either kindergarten through 12th grade. And that works out to 18% of the students that have enrolled are new to the district this year. They may have been with us in the past, but were not with us last year. And if you remember, the percentage that we lost to from enrollment last year as of October 1st was 25%, but that number went down as the year went on because of new enrollees. And so we're tracking, at least in the first week, about where I would hope that we would to regain the students that we lost over last year. That being said, we want to get our enrollment numbers up, and so, in fact, as we were getting ready to begin the meeting, I received a reminder that went out to all Central parents, and that's where one of my children go, and just reminding parents, and I know that we're going to have all of the principals do that in whatever form or fashion, to remind the parents to begin the online enrollment process. And I know technology has been answering questions of parents that were having difficulties or had questions of how to do it, and they've been taking those phone calls. In fact, I was over there this morning and listened to some of it going on myself, and so appreciate all the work that Dee and his folks are doing to try and make that work. I have some good news. GHS Assistant Principal Brett Stone was elected to serve as the regional representative for the Oklahoma Association of Secondary School Principals. This is just another example of the respect our leadership team garners from their peers. I know Mr. LeGrand has served in multiple leadership roles at the state level as well, and so I think that just speaks boldly to the leadership team that we have. Very proud of them. And then the last item I have is a reminder to board members that the OSSBA COSA Conference is not far away. It's August 26th through the 29th, and if you wish to attend, I encourage you to visit with Samantha soon so that she can get you registered. And that's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Simpson. Next item is the consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled? If not, a motion is in order.
Madam President. Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
The motion has been made by Davis and seconded by Schroeder to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Now to the business agenda. Agenda would be 9A. Recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for Guthrie Public Schools to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
So on page 151 of your packet, this is an annual item where we, and you'll see one in the next agenda item, these are both kind of similar, with federal claims and with special education, we authorize, delegate that authorization to staff members. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move that we approve agenda item A.
Second.
Motion has been made by Flagg and seconded by Smedley to approve agenda item 9A. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9B, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Angie Young as the authorized official for Guthrie Public Schools to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for projects 621, 623, 625, 641, and 642.
As I mentioned earlier, this is an annual item that we bring to the board. Recommend approval.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Ms. Angie Young as the authorized official for GPS to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for projects 621, 623, 625, 641, and 642.
Second.
Motion is made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve agenda item 9B. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon Activity Fund Handbook for 2021-2022.
Pages 153 through 188 of your packet are the red line of this document that we bring to you for annual approval. The changes were minimal and recommend approval.
I make a motion that we approve the Activity Fund Handbook for 2021, 2022.
Second.
Motion's been made by Davis and seconded by Plagg to approve 9C. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Plagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, action upon Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
Pages 189 through 216 of your board packet are that handbook, and it's in a red line master as well. And again, with most of the handbooks and the changes are minimal this year. Recommend approval as submitted.
Are the changes made by the principals? Or-
It's a meeting with the principals, generally and then they bring that to, in this case, Mr. Ogle, and I don't know, Chris, you and Todd, generally there's collaboration with their assistant principals and then in many cases their counselors. Was that accurate? Okay.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion's made by Schroeder and seconded by Davis to approve 9D. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Plagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the junior high student handbook for 2021-2022.
Pages 217 through 254 of your board packet are the junior high student handbook, and if there are any questions, Mr. Bramwell is here and he will be glad to answer those.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the junior high school student handbook for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion was made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve 9E. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Plagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon Favor Alternative School Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
This is on pages 255 through 282 of your board packet, and I know that Mr. LeGrand works with Ms. Benson on formulating the changes that we're recommending here tonight for Favor, and he's here to answer any questions that you might have. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move that we approve the changes made to the Favor Alternative School Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion's made by Plagg and seconded by Schroeder to approve 9F. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Plagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, action upon the Guthrie High School Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
This is on pages 283 through 314 of your board packet. And Chris, you might mention some of the things that I know were discussed about the secondary handbook. There were a couple of things that seems like we made a couple of minor changes on.
Probably the biggest thing that we're adding this year is just more than one individual in bathroom stall, because we found that so many students are going in the restroom and vaping in there, and because the stall's personal and it's private, we've said that there's going to be consequences. I know junior high, they'd already been enacting that policy, and we hadn't, so we included that in the handbook this year, that there'll be, it's like basically ISS, that they're caught with more than one person in a stall in the restroom, and out-of-school suspension. So primarily that's the biggest thing that we've added this year.
Like you added some other areas that are off limits around your campus.
Yeah, that's true. We had kind of opened, that's a good point. We had opened up the campus more for our power hour. And we found that we weren't really having a lot of problems. It's just a matter of staffing and providing supervision on some of those areas. And so we've kind of tightened that back up. So now that the area that's off limits is anywhere outside of our sidewalks on both sides and the outback, so it'll be easier to supervise and provide supervision for those students during lunchtime.
A motion would be in order.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Guthrie High School Guthrie High School Student Handbook for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion is made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve 9G. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis? Yes. Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2021-2022.
Some pages 315 through 363 of your board packet. Chris, you want to speak to the changes that are in there?
Yeah, basically we're adding 3 courses. We're adding a food production class in the ag department, and that was on Mr. Drake's recommendation. And we're also adding a robotics class for our JROTC students, and the government's going to provide funding for those robotics mechanisms that are pretty expensive, so that's going to be real beneficial. We'll think it will help our recruiting efforts in that program. And then there's one other one.
Pre-AP something.
Yeah, and we're going to add, in the past we've had honors geometry for our students that took Algebra 1 as 8th graders. And so that those students can receive a weighted credit, we're going to offer that as a pre-AP class now. And part of that is the instructor has to be certified and go through training, and so it will actually be recognized as a pre-AP course for freshmen so that they'll get a weighted credit on their transcript.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion is made by Smedley and seconded by Schroeder to approve 9H. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon a memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and the Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2021-2022.
This program has been very beneficial to our students. The funding that comes from Meridian is in the amount of $50,000 to help us support that program, and we're happy to continue that program and feel very fortunate even in times of dire budget needs, we were still able to continue that program thanks to the support from Meridian. And we bring this to you annually for your approval, and we would recommend that tonight.
Madam President, I move that we approve the memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2021-2022.
Second.
A motion has been made by Schroeder and seconded by Flagg to approve 9I. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Schroeder?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon a loan agreement with the Child Nutrition Fund for 2021-2022.
This is an annual item that we bring to the board, and we get the approval in advance in case it is needed. Looks like, based on how the federal regulations are going to shape out for next year, I don't believe that it will be needed, but just in case, we go ahead and ask for that approval as we begin the new fiscal year.
Madam President, I move that we approve the loan agreement with the Child Nutrition Fund for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion's made by Flagg and seconded by Davis to approve 9J. Discussion, please. Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2021-2022.
This is our annual renewal of our contract with Imperial for vending machines inside the buildings, and Ms. Chappell is glad to offer any information needed by the board. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I'll make a motion we approve the agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion is made by Schroeder and seconded by Davis to approve 9K. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with Renaissance Learning Incorporated.
Pages 370 and 374 of your board packet contain this agreement and explanation from Ms. Walters. This is, I believe, the second year that we've had the relationship with for the STAR 360 testing for pre-K through fourth graders, and we want to continue the use of this diagnostic. One of them, regardless of, we're required to have at least one for those students, and recommend that we continue with STAR 360. Ms. Walters can answer any questions that you might have.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the agreement with Renaissance Learning, Inc.
Second.
Motion is made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve 9L. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Northwest Evaluation Association.
This is on page 375 and 376 of your board packet. MAP, we've used MAP for a number of years across the district, and we have pared that down somewhat in recent years. As we talked about the STAR 360 with pre-K through fourth grade, we want to continue the MAP with grades 5 and 6, and would recommend approval. And again, Ms. Walters would be happy to answer any questions.
Madam President, I move that we approve the agreement with Northwest Evaluation Association.
Second.
Motion's made by Flagg and seconded by Sedley to approve 9M. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Follett School Solutions Incorporated for library inventory software for 2021-2022.
It's an annual renewal of our software that catalogs our books, tracks our due dates, and overall runs the libraries that we have across the district, and would recommend approval.
I move that we approve the agreement with Follett School Solutions for library inventory software for 2021-2022.
Second.
Motion is made by Schroeder and seconded by Davis to approve 9N. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, action upon school bus driver's handbook for 2021-2022.
Page 379 through 388 of your packet are the handbook for school bus riders regulations and guidelines. And Mr. Thompson is here to answer any questions that you might have. And changes are minimal in here, just like most of the other handbooks, and would recommend approval.
I make a motion that we approve this School Bus Riders Handbook for 2021-22.
Second.
Motion is made by Davis and seconded by Schroeder to approve 9O. Discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the School Bus Drivers and Monitors Handbook for 2021-2022.
Pages 389 through 412 of your board packet are the employee policy and procedure handbook for transportation. And again, Mr. Thompson is here to answer any questions. Changes are minimal and I think, in fact, virtually non-existent if I remember right on this. Would recommend approval.
I have a question. Does each bus have a monitor?
No. Does each bus have a monitor?
Just some buses? Excuse me?
Special education.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Madam
I make a
President,
motion that we approve the school bus drivers and monitors handbook for 2021-22.
second.
Motion is made by Davis and seconded by Flagg to approve 9P. Discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Discussion, motion, and possible action to accept a cash donation of $80,000 towards the cost of a new scoreboard and sound system for Jelsman Stadium.
This F&M Bank has agreed to donate $80,000 toward the new scoreboard and new sound system to be placed at Jelsman Stadium. Just a reminder that the cost is just a little bit over that. When the final cost came in of about $83,000, we're going to make up the difference in the building fund, and then we're also out of the building fund. We are going to put a new scoreboard at the softball field. And so, we believe that we can get both of these done. Again, these are items that are potentially could be delayed due to supply line issues, but we're confident, we're optimistic that we can get these things in before the season starts. So would recommend, and with board policy on something that is affixed to our property, it is required that the board approve that and approve the acceptance. And so I would recommend that the board do so.
Madam President, I move that we accept a cash donation of $80,000 for the cost of a new scoreboard and sound system for Jelsman Stadium.
Second.
Motion has been made by Flagg and seconded by Davis to approve 9Q. Discussion? Roll call, please.
As I said, I think the only thing I was going to say is just a huge thank you to F&M Bank for their continued support of our district, because
Very much so.
they're there for us all the time.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9R. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to award the contract for Fogarty Elementary exterior and fabric ductwork for the HVAC project.
You have at your seat the tabulation sheet for the bids that were open at 10 this morning. We had two bidders. Unfortunately, the low bid, I have to recommend that we reject it. In their packet, the bidder did not complete the required information that was clearly spelled out that was necessary for to be considered, and that included a company questionnaire, a W-9 form, a reference list of 5 vendors, a copy of the vendor license, and a certificate of insurance. Those were not in in with their bid. The gentleman was here, and he knew he had made a mistake, and I explained to him then that we cannot accept that. The other bidder, Innovative Mechanical, did have those in place, and so we have, essentially, we have no option other than to accept Innovative's or reject all bids. And I would recommend that we accept Innovative Mechanical's bid. They've done a lot of work for us and continue to do a lot of work for us, and I have no concern about whether or not they can perform the work.
What was the projected cost we kind of had for that?
It was around 55, I think, wasn't it, Cody? Or 57. Okay, so he's right on. What was the budget figure?
It was about 55 in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear that yet.
So that would be my recommendation.
Madam President, I make a motion that we accept the bid from Innovative Mechanical for the HVAC project at Fogarty Elementary exterior and fabric ductwork.
Second.
Motion's been made, a second. Motion's made by Smedley, it's been seconded by Schroeder to approve 9R to Innovative Mechanical. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Discussion, consideration, and possible action upon agreement with Infinite Campus, Inc. for student information systems for 2021-2022.
And this is, while the agreement is for 21-22, this is essentially to switch over the course of this next school year, our student information system from WinGauge to Infinite Campus, and that would then that would go live for the 22-23 school year. Now, I know we talked about this in committees. This will be a drawn-out process. I've been a part of these before, where you take a huge amount of data and you migrate it from one program to another. But what I would say to our staff, our parents, our community, is that in the end, this is it's a far superior product that gives us more flexibility and more things that we can do with it, and also it's much more user intuitive than for online enrollment and parental interaction. And I think that is something that we need to be able to leverage the technology that we have with our parents to better communicate with them and make it easier for them to be engaged in their child's learning and follow their child's progress. And so that's why, and I have some experience with other programs, including Infinite Campus and some others, talking with superintendents. They are very pleased that are using Infinite Campus are very pleased with it. I know that Dee has talked with a lot of tech directors about it. We brought in select key administrators and staff who had an hour-and-a-half presentation on this program and feel very confident about it. And then one thing that I would mention at your table is an addendum that was not included in your original packet for the agreement with Infinite Campus. And that addendum is something that our attorneys recommend, and Infinite Campus was glad to provide it, and it stipulates that if there were to be any litigation, it would be in Oklahoma and in Logan County. And so, I guess, obviously Dee's here, Chris and Todd were a part of or Chris was at least a part of the presentation. I know Angie was in on that. Carmen was as well. And so if you have any questions or discussion, or anybody wants to speak about the need for change, and the challenges that we face with our current student information system platform, I'd be glad to offer that up as well, or let any staff.
I think it would be great compared to what we have, the enrollment, have all their grades, that'll be all-inclusive. Now, the software updates, will those be included in all the annual fees? I know those can be very pricey if they're not.
That's all included in the program.
One of the things that, and I think I shared this with the board members in committee meetings, but I wanted to mention again, I was working in the Stillwater district when they migrated to Infinite Campus, and that's been a long time ago anyway. And I was very impressed when I saw the presentation of how much they have enhanced the program since Stillwater had switched over. And I reached out to the principal of Stillwater High School, obviously an old friend, but also to the director of IT for Stillwater, who coincidentally is a Guthrie High School graduate. And he was very much in favor of Infinite Campus over their competitors, and feels like the decision they made several years ago was still the right decision, and gave them a strong vote of confidence.
Madam President, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with Infinite Campus for student information system for 2021-2022.
Second.
A motion has been made by Schroeder and seconded by Smedley to approve 9S. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Okay, John, we had to go through the whole alphabet almost. We got to you. Receive bids for the purchase of $1,200,000 general obligation building bonds series 2021 for the district, and to vote to award said bonds to the lowest bidder complying with the notice of sale and instructions to bidders.
I'll bet there's not a board meeting you've been to where we went through as many things as swiftly as we did there, though.
No comment.
That's what committee meetings are for.
Hey, there's V through Z that you didn't get. Yeah, great. Had a bond sale this morning for your general obligation bonds, Series 2021, the $1.2 million that you guys approved to put out for competitive bid. We received 4 bids from different underwriters/banks. Very good time to sell bonds, to borrow money, and that translated into what you received today. You actually, like I said, had 4 bidders, and your lowest bidder, this is $1.2 million, just a short 2-year term, 1 bullet maturity. The low bid was from First Bankers Bank Securities in association with F&M Bank. Did everyone get the type? I did. I have extras in case anyone did not receive that or doesn't have it in front of them. They did an association with F&M Bank. Basically, F&M Bank, I needed to use a broker-dealer that is registered through DTC, which is kind of the electronic way you do bonds for the last 40 years. And so they used that broker to bid on your bonds, and they were the low bid, I think, for the 3rd time in a row. But their bid was a 0.336,732%. So very happy from our end. Rates are still at that low area, bordering the lowest ever. And certainly we recommend, be glad to answer any questions that you have, but I think this is a no-brainer, but we recommend that you award to First Bankers Bank Securities, Inc., in association with F&M Bank.
I think it speaks volumes of F&M Bank's support of our district. This is the second agenda item tonight where they have stepped up, and I'm really appreciative of their efforts and their aggressive bidding on this. I wish we had more money on the table.
About that today. Let's hope we're in the same market when you go out next year, when you're closer to $10 million. So.
that would be my recommendation as well, is that we follow, award that to F&M Bank and First Bankers Bank Securities Incorporated.
Madam President, I move that we approve item U and award it to F&M Bank.
Item T.
Item U.
T.
T. Sorry.
You're trying, Ron.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Cruising.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Motion has been made by Flagg and seconded by Schroeder to approve agenda item 9T to First Bankers Bank Securities Incorporated in association with F&M Bank. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9U, consideration and vote on a resolution providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds in the sum of $1.2 million by Independent School District Number 1, Logan County, Oklahoma, authorized an election called and held for such purpose, prescribing forms for bonds, designating bonds as general obligation building bonds series 2021, providing for the registration thereof, establishing the school district's reasonable expectation with respect to issuance of tax-exempt obligations in the calendar year of 2021, and designating the bonds as qualified tax-exempt obligations, approving the form of the continuing disclosure of certificate, providing for the levy of an annual tax for the payment of principal and interest of the same, and fixing other details of issue.
Certainly, be glad to answer any questions on any part of that long-winded agenda item, but it addresses basically the legal requirements under Oklahoma state law and also requirements associated with the Securities Exchange Commission and also with the Internal Revenue Service. So that's kind of a catch-all resolution directing us to proceed and providing all the information to those individual relevant federal or state agencies. And we're looking to close this on August 24th. That's when you'll have the proceeds. So we'll after some documents are executed, we'll supply the transcript to the State Attorney General. They'll review, and then we'll be ready to close on that date. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that anyone has.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve agenda item 9U.
I'll second that.
A motion has been made and seconded, made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve 9U. Discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA requests, resignation, separation from employment, and transfer of position requests for all set out on the personnel reports, and teacher negotiations for 2021-2022, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma Statute, Section 307B, 1, 2, and 7. Vote to go into executive session is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made by Davis and seconded by Smedley to go into executive session. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
We're in executive session.
I think we've just agenda fatigue.
Hey, we only got only the items listed in agenda item 10 were discussed in executive session. No votes were taken. This will constitute the minutes of the executive session. Vote on action is set out on the personnel reports.
Madam President, I would ask that we amend the personnel report under support staff, under Pace. There was an error there. Instead of Amber, that should be Victoria Pace.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the personnel reports with the change mentioned by Dr. Simpson.
Second.
A motion was made by Schroeder and seconded by Davis to approve the action set out on the personnel reports. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Recommendation, consideration, and action to approve the proposed professional development program to take place on August 21st prior to the start of the school year, and to authorize the superintendent and his designees to take all actions necessary to implement the program, including a payment of $750 stipend to those completing the program.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the proposed professional development program to take place in August of 21 prior to the start of the school year, and to authorize the superintendent and his designees to take all actions necessary to implement the program, including payment of a $750 stipend to those completing the program.
Second.
A motion's been made by Smedley and seconded by Flagg to approve agenda item 12. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
We have one. Pass these out. Board members. Rachel Rudick from Charter Oak. Recommend acceptance of the resignation.
Madam President, I move that we accept the resignation of Rachel Rudick of Charter Oak.
Second.
Motion's been made by Flagg and seconded by Smedley to approve the resignation of Rachel Rudick. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none.
A motion to adjourn is in order.
Madam President, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion was made by Smedley and seconded by Schroeder to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thanks for pinch hitting.
Madam President.
Thank you.